Hello and welcome to GamerCents. Today on GamerCents, we take a peek into a future so many dreamed of, and so few are willing to pay for. Virtual reality. Behind every head-mounted display, or HMD, aimed at gaming is a powerful computer, so it should be no surprise that VR has a pricey intro fee. With the minimum requirements for a PC to run an Oculus Rift costing around $800, and Oculus recommended specifications being easily over $1,000, the entry price is steep. And that doesn't even include the price of your choice of HMD. There are many different choices for HMDs today. Some are great examples of what VR at home can be, while others target a mobile audience. Either way, there is one end goal: complete immersion. To make players forget they are in a virtual experience altogether. Previous attempts, such as the Nintendo Virtual Boy, were a far cry from today's technology. Now, with big names like Facebook and Valve dipping their toes into the hardware world of VR, why have we not seen an explosion of titles from dedicated AAA studios? One reason may be the respective lack of demand. While there are many VR enthusiasts, few have experienced anything beyond the level of the Samsung Gear or Google Cardboard. Another potential reason is that the platform is simply too young to have established any dedicated AAA publishers. Though this issue may solve itself over time, few large studios have leapt headfirst into the new platform. Some who are interested in the technology simply don't feel like it is yet worth investing in, due to concerns about the state of hardware or the industry as a whole. To some, it's no more than a gimmick. And those concerns do hold some weight. But what is it about VR that makes it so appealing to those who wish to escape into a digital world? Virtual reality, while it has made leaps and bounds, is still very much in its infancy. Hardware does not yet allow for a truly immersive experience. Humans depend on 5 senses to envelop themselves in the world: sight, sound, smell, touch, and taste. Currently available hardware only allows for so many of these boxes to be checked, and once you take into consideration the software and coding requirements to add any third-party hardware, such as gloves to feel hot or cold, many problems become apparent. Developers seem to be focused on 2 of these problems: sight and sound. What you see and what you hear are arguably the 2 most immediate factors in a new environment, so it makes sense that these are the 2 main points of focus. With various brands clawing to get their share of profits, things become even more convoluted. Many companies today produce VR headsets. Oculus, PlayStation, HTC, Samsung, and Razer have all thrown a hat into the ring, and some companies like Microsoft have thrown in a few more with the licensing of Windows mixed reality headsets to other manufacturers like Lenovo and Dell. For now, we will focus on HTC Vive and Oculus Rift. In the case of Oculus, we start with Palmer Luckey. Luckey made a prototype in 2011 in his parents' garage at the age of 18. It was around this time he met John Carmack, co-founder and lead programmer for id Software. Carmack wrote software for the early prototype. In 2012, Luckey started a campaign on Kickstarter and demoed the prototype Rift at E3. His goal? Better and more available VR. Nearly $2.5 million raised meant a successful launch of the Developer Kit 1, or DK1, on March 29, 2013. Further refinement over the next year birthed the DK2, released in July of 2014. It was also during this time that Facebook made the move to acquire Oculus. Little over half a year later, the HTC Vive and Steam VR were announced on February 23, 2015, after prototypes were shown off the previous year. A near-finished version of the Vive was showcased at CES 2016. On March 25, 2016, the Oculus Rift Consumer Version 1 began shipping, only a few weeks before the HTC Vive, released April 5th the same year. A war for the future of VR seemed to be upon us. But it wasn't without its casualties. ZeniMax Media sued Oculus and Facebook, stating the Rift was their intellectual property. This was not proven. However, it was found Carmack had violated a non-disclosure agreement. Facebook and Office corporate officers were ordered to pay $500 million in fines. Filed in 2014, the final decision was not made until February of 2017, though in 2018, a judge and jury decided to drop the fines to $250 million instead. Carmack returned fire with fire. The same year of the decision, he filed suit for $22 million against ZeniMax for allegedly not paying his share from the sale of id Software. This, however, was settled out of court for an undisclosed amount in 2018. Court battles aside, VR strived on. For some time, without third-party software, the game selection was fairly limited. While there were many experiences and apps for VR, actual games were few and far between. But it wouldn't be long until one publisher broke through the gates. With the release of Doom and Fallout 4 VR, Bethesda was arguably the first big-budget studio to enter the virtual world. But it's definitely not the only player on the digital field. With over 3,000 other titles available on Steam for VR, it can be challenging to find something worthwhile. Some of these games are little more than a quick cash grab, while others seem to be too short. Others have great concepts or ideas, but poor execution. Games like VR Chat might yet realize the full potential of virtual reality, while other experiences make us question the legitimacy of the platform entirely. When reaching for the future, we must be careful not to make the mistakes of yesteryear. Otherwise, VR may fade into the past, and once more, be nothing more than a dream. If you liked this video, consider subscribing and sharing this with your friends. And of course, thanks for playing.